All right, guys, happy Wednesday. Coming to you excited and coming to you with some thoughts of reflection before I have somebody take us out on the field. By a show of hands, how many of you are able to pick up your children and take them to school every single day right now, being a realtor? All right, cool. And I appreciate that sentiment, and I'm going to raise my hand. I appreciate that. Now, how many of you have sometimes some cool conversations with the kids in the morning? Is there sometimes some laughter? Or is there something that you guys do that's really special? Is there a meal that you cook your kids in the morning that's very special between you and your kids? Raise your hand if that lands for you. That morning time for me, my wife is a little envious of it, and rightfully so. She doesn't get to do that because she has to leave earlier, but she prefers a 9 to 5. She doesn't want to be an entrepreneur, and I don't want to have two entrepreneurs in a household, but nonetheless, I really, really appreciate that time in the morning. And if you're the type of person that enjoys dropping the kids off, those special moments, and then being able to, based on the flexibility of our schedule, be able to pick them up and hear about the day and hear about the things that they learn and see the things that they're bringing home and the new insights that they have on the world or whatever it is, like embrace that, but protect that. And what I mean by that, if those times are important to you and those moments are important to you, what's the alternative? The alternative is you don't work your ass off, you don't show up, you don't take the action, you don't do the things that you know that you need to do. And what happens? You're forced to go back to a 9 to 5 that's going to pay you a fraction of what you're actually worth. And then what do you miss? You miss all those times with the kids in the morning and making pancakes and doing whatever it is that you do every morning, making content in the car because he finds it so funny. So if those times are important to you, then protect it. And the only way that you're going to protect it is by insurance. And the insurance is your consistent, massive action. And I know that you've heard me say it, and you'll hear me say it until the end of time. And if you don't like me hearing me say it, then tune out and don't be on these calls. Because it's important that if you truly, truly want that and that flexibility, or maybe it's just a morning walk, maybe it's the dogs, and I don't know what it is. For me, it's the kids. And if those times are important to you, then protect it. And the only way that you're going to protect it is by putting some insurance on this game. Does that make sense, everybody? You guys going to put some insurance on it? All right, cool. I'm going to have somebody take us on the field, and then we're going to go ahead and get rolling on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. Ashley, you are front and center for me. So, before the end of the call, I want you to share a little bit about what you're working on in the back end. You've been sending me some stuff on DM. So, Ashley, I'm going to have you take us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. Let's go.
Good morning. What you just said just sparked something that I shared yesterday. I was going through my Tumblr account, and if you don't know what Tumblr is, it's like a journal basically. And I had looked back about 4 years ago when I was working and I was managing at the bank, and I was in the last month of my maternity leave, and I was struggling to do every single activity that I could just to get those moments with my kids in. And I had a line in there that said, I don't know if I'm ever going to have this much dedicated time to my kids again. Lo and behold, God had something else in store for me, put me on this path to be a lender. And now I have all the time in the world to be flexible as long as I work to keep it, as long as I do those high action activities. And so what you just said definitely hit home. That is my number one motivation, to work as hard as I can, put in my all every single day, just so that I have those precious moments with my kids, because I remember a time when I didn't.
Yeah, and you guys, like that, and being able to get home to go to sports practices and games. And once again, shout out to you parents that are driving all ends of the town to take kids to practices and games. It's a true commitment. And then weekends and travel and all that. So if there's special things in your day, walking the dogs, taking the kids to school, having those moments, protect that by making sure that you are always consistent with your activity in this business. So let's get right into it, you guys. Before we get into the market, if you're sitting at a computer, I want you to run some comps in an area where you want to represent, whether it's Albany, Berkeley, wherever you are. Go ahead and pull up some comps, because we're going to have a conversation about the market in just a minute. But I want to ask you guys if you fall into this category, and I'm going to read something to you, and I think it was really, really powerful. It says, habits often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold and unlock a new level of performance. In the early and middle stages of any quest there is often a valley of disappointment. And stay with me. You expect more progress in a linear fashion, and it's frustrating how ineffective changes can seem during the first days, weeks, and even months of your journey. It doesn't feel like you're going anywhere. It's the hallmark of any compounding process. The most powerful outcomes are delayed. If you're on this call right now and you've been making calls and you've been doing open houses and you've been going on appointments and nothing is cracked yet, or maybe you're in a lull in your business, just know that if you keep on doing these things, if you keep on reading, if you keep on studying, if you keep on showing up, and if you keep on knocking and you keep on calling, something good is going to come from that. And it's delayed gratification, and you have to be okay with that. I saw that this morning. I want to share that with you. Now let's get right into the market. You guys, tons of things that are happening in the market, but no matter what, when you look at production of companies throughout the Bay Area, our team continues to be ahead of the curve because our team is committed to taking action. Now, I believe your message to market is going to be one of the most important things that you're going to have to convey as you're growing in this business and as you master this business. That's a skill that will never go away. So what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do a quick snapshot of some comps really quick, and I wanted to get your guys' vantage point on this, and I wanted to get your opinions, and I wanted to get some thoughts from you guys and have you get engaged in this conversation. Now, what I did is I just ran some comps in the last 90 days, nothing too fancy. We're not going to go too deep in the woods on this, but I wanted to have a conversation with you. And this is why I wanted you to pull up your comps. If we're looking at these comps right now, and I'm looking at the far right over here, let me just categorize this. All right, I picked two cities. I picked Albany and El Cerrito, and I went 90 days back. Actually, I went 60 days back, excuse me. And when I'm looking back at the comps and what is sold, I want you guys to take a look at this line here of number of offers. And as you can see, super, super competitive market. Some houses were more competitive than others. You can see 925, 1.280, 1,049 sold at 1.6, 1,095 sold at 1.4, 995 sold at 1,018,000. So you guys get the point here. So what I want to hear from you is if you were to pull some comps up, and if you were to share these comps with us on the call, which I want you to do, I want you to talk to me about how you would have this conversation with a buyer, or how would you have this conversation with a seller? Like, how would you frame this conversation? If someone says, well, how is the market in my neighborhood? We've been considering selling. Well, Mr. Johnson, I'm really glad that you asked. And here's a quick snapshot of what's happened in the last 90 days in this market. And this is why I believe it's a really good time to put your house on the market. And here's some of the results over the past 90 days. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions, right? Or you're a buyer thinking about purchasing in this market. Here's a snapshot of this market. Here's what we're going to be up against. And I want to make sure that I'm setting clear expectations for you so you understand the road ahead. Make sense? Wonderful. Let's go right into the data. This is how I want you to frame these conversations based on your understanding of the data. Because as you can see, houses in these two markets are selling significantly over asking price, and they have multiple offers. So that's good for sellers, and that's a challenge for buyers. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to run some comps for me if you're in a place that you can run some comps. And I want to turn the mic over to you. And I want this to be all about you. I want you to give me a snapshot as a consumer, and you choose, am I a buyer or a seller? You choose that route, I don't care. But I want you to give me an overview and an idea of what to expect. You choose the market, you choose the area, you create that narrative. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear an update on the market based on the city that you chose, whether I'm a buyer or a seller. Now, before we get into this, I need some volunteers to grab the mic. And now we have our usual suspects, okay? And you know who they are. I want you to throw your hand up, and I want you to get involved in this conversation. And if some of this stuff that you're saying right now is winging it, it's okay, because I just want to hear how it sounds. And all the particulars and all the raw data, you'll have more of that as you grow and you get into the details. But I need 5 volunteers right now as we kick this off to really, really share with us what their vantage point is of the market right now. So who's going to step up? I need 5 people in the queue, and I'm just going to sit here quietly until I get 5 hands up. Because if you're here to keep it moving. You're here to keep progress in your business. And so I'm going to expect you guys to throw your hands up. And I don't care if you're 1 day in this business or if you're 5 years in this business. Who's it going to be? And don't let Dominique be the first person to throw her hand up. So I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to let you guys throw your hands up. And do not leave your coach hanging. All right, cool. Natalie, good. I'm not going on until I get formal. Now we'll sit here silently and awkwardly like this. You guys, somebody help me out here. Let's push the people on this call to say, get involved in this conversation. This is keep it moving, you guys. And if you're not here to play at a very, very high level, then should you even be at this call? With you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. But let's go. Full tilt. All right. I got the people. Thank you. Natalie, Janice, Sierra, Demian, Samiri. I think Dominique, she gave a love. But check this out. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 people that are actually brand new in the business. And then we got some veterans that are going to get in the call now. So Natalie, you pick the area. If you're talking to a buyer, seller, whatever way you want to go, but I want to hear your message to market. Give me an update. Let's go.
Okay, when I'm looking at the MLS, I just want to be sure I'm doing this correctly. So I'm looking at family.
Share your screen.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Share. Share.
And listen, this will probably be the hardest thing that you guys do on group coaching. So if you could do it here, we can do it with the consumer. Let's go.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Totally.
Okay, am I going to, okay, wait. I want listings that are off market or on market?
No, you want sold.
Sold, right? Okay. So sold, all sold. Oh no, there we go. Okay. View results. Okay, so where am I seeing how many offers were made?
Who else is a member? What association are you a member of?
I'm on Bridge.
You're on Bridge. Okay. So you guys, if you have Bridge, can someone show her how to put in number of offers? Does anybody know how to do that on Bridge? Actually, go to columns really quick.
Okay.
And let's go scroll down on the far left side.
Left.
Yep, and just go to number of offers.
So.
All right, there you are. You just missed it. Right there. Cool. Okay. And now you're good. Now save up at the top. Cool.
Do I need to do number? Okay. Okay.
All right, cool. And now you're going to see that probably on the far, right there. And now hit the number of offers, double tap it, double tap it again. Let's see, and scroll down. Let me see. I want to see if there's anything other than zeros. All right, cool. So let's just stay here. Let's go to the bottom here. I don't know why it's not sorting, but I want to make sure that we're continuing on.
Right.
All right, cool. So go back. Yeah, yeah. We'll clean all this up. Clean all this up. But I don't want to stay on this too long. Right. Let's just take San Leandro. Let's take the last 60 days. Tell me a little bit about the market. I'm a consumer. Am I a buyer or seller first and foremost?
So you're a buyer.
All right, cool. So tell me a little bit about what we're experiencing in the market. And yeah, I'm going to have you clean this up. I think it's a little confusing because we're not seeing list price versus sales price. So I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to have you stop sharing your screen because I know it's driving the analytics and us crazy. So stop sharing your screen.
Okay. How do I get out of this?
I stopped sharing it for you. All right, Natalie, give me an update. What's it like in San Leandro? I'm thinking about purchasing a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm a first-time home buyer. My budget is roughly around $800,000. Tell me what I'm up against. Talk to me about that San Leandro market. Go.
Okay. So currently in San Leandro, most of the homes are seeing upwards of 20 to 30 offers, it looks like. So it is a competitive market and it is a hot market. In your price range, it looks like is 800,000 your max?
I mean, we could push to 850. I wouldn't like to, but if we had to for the perfect home, like in Assumption Parish, we would.
Okay. I think that San Leandro might be slightly out of your price range.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the only place we want to live.
Okay. There are some homes that I'm seeing that are just below 800,000. We would just have to really um compromise and
On what?
um
I muted them.
okay. Um yeah, so in terms of like putting in offers, we would have to be very aggressive and um yeah, sorry. I need to like go back and learn more.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'd rather you do this here versus doing this with the consumer, right? That's why we're going to do this. So who has some experience before I get to the other hands? Who has some experience recently of showing homes, writing offers in San Leandro that maybe wants to assist her and help her with her dialogue? Anybody have any experience recently in San Leandro? Anybody have an understanding of what's happening in the San Leandro market? Anybody want to chime in on
Yeah,
some assistance and help
what's
her?
hey, good morning. I can't see the actual comps, but in San Leandro in general, just like Oakland, homes are going above list price, especially single family homes. Condos are sitting a little longer and might be a safer bet in terms of trying to find something under or around the asking price. But just like Oakland and cities neighboring Oakland, you're looking at paying over the asking price for most homes.
And so, Natalie, and really good stuff to me, and I appreciate your support and your contribution. Natalie, if there's no homes available that fit that price point, you're really up against the wall, they have a very, very tight budget. If you were to launch some type of grassroots campaign to find the inventory for them, what would you do?
I mean, would they be willing to go into a condo? I guess would be the next
All
question.
right, so there's one alternative. What else would you do?
Try to maybe look at the surrounding towns to see if they could, potentially compromise.
Okay.
I guess
And
we
what
try.
else?
I don't know.
All right, and I love the contributions on this. First off, I would make calls. I love that Sierra put that. I would pull a circle prospecting list for everybody in that area that they're looking. And if there's no inventory that's fitting their budget and you see that the delta is 80 grand, 20 grand, whatever that number is, and it's just going to completely put them out of their budget, that's when you hit the pavement. And you're going to go and pick the neighborhood where they truly, truly want to purchase the house. And you're going to do a grassroots campaign and you're going to knock on the neighbor's door. They had no idea. They had no thought about selling, but you're telling them you have a qualified buyer that's thinking about living in this area and there's no inventory. Have they ever considered putting their house on the market knowing it's such a desirable neighborhood? Yes, no, or indifferent. All we're trying to do is to find more opportunities. And you're telling your buyer that, listen, if the inventory does not exist, I'm still going to do grassroots campaign to see if I might be able to find somebody that's willing to list their house or sell their house off market to us. So I'm going to do that, but I'm always going to be looking for the opportunities within San Leandro, because if this is where you want to live, I want to truly help you make that possible, right? So it's like, think outside the box when there's limited inventory versus leading with my compromise. I know I may have to compromise, but if I truly, truly want to live there, then let's do the work. Let's do the work. Condos, knocking on doors, making the phone calls, and seeing if we can't uncover some opportunities that don't exist to the mass public right now. Make sense? All right, cool. And then I think we'll help you with that, how to look at your comps in a very organized way and eliminate some of those fields so you can look at the important data. But good stuff. I love it. Let's go, Sierra. Sierra, you had your hand up, and I'm going to get to Cynthia in a second. Cynthia raised her hand in the chat. She wanted to share something. But yeah, let's go, Sierra. Sierra, pick a market. Tell us what the update is. Talk to me about the market, what's going on, conditions, patterns, nuances. Let's hear from you.
Okay, so I'm basically door knocking because that's what I do. Knock, knock. Hello, Mr. Seller or renter. Hey, so I'm just coming around telling everybody in the neighborhood about giving them an update on this house down the street, sold for 250,000 over. We had 10 offers. Did you know about that house? Did you see when they were fixing it up and working on it?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. So what did you think about it? Did you think it was like redone pretty nice, or what were your thoughts?
I thought that paint was awful.
So you wouldn't choose that paint, huh?
No, oh God, heck no.
All right, understandable. Maybe like a dark gray for you. So I'm coming around because we actually have a buyer who's actively looking and she has not been able to get into the so we're seeing if anybody has thoughts about selling their house so that we can get this buyer who's totally qualified into a home with her family. She's really interested in this area because the neighborhood's great and the school district.
Yeah, okay. And obviously I absolutely love this script. I'd be open to that conversation, but Natalie, here's that opportunity for you, right? Same thing that Sierra is saying. It's the same opportunity for all of us. But Sierra, what market are we talking about particularly that you're knocking on?
El Cerrito's favorite door knocking area with Jessica.
All right, so cool. So let's do this. Since these comps are really showing like how hot El Cerrito is, and I'm looking at this. So what is making the demand in El Cerrito so high? Why are houses selling for anywhere from $20,000 to $200,000 over asking? And why are they getting 14, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 offers on these homes? What's happening in El Cerrito?
So there's no homes for sale in Albany. And so it's pushing people into El Cerrito, what I think is happening. Literally, if you look at how many houses are being sold in Albany, it's so few, and people really want to get into those schools in Albany. So their next best bet is either Berkeley or El Cerrito. And El Cerrito, your price point's just, it looks a little lower, but at the end of the day, after, there's 10 offers, it's really not that much lower. So that's, I think, what's going on in general. People are getting pushed out just further. And El Cerrito, the price point is just a little bit lower. You'll see it lower than Albany. You'll see it lower than Berkeley. And in the flats, kind of near the freeway, there's actually a lot of turnover there. So you'll see a lot of houses on the market compared to Albany, compared to other surrounding areas like Kensington. It's a lot more inventory compared to, still not a lot of inventory, but more.
Beautiful. And what's the lifestyle like there?
I mean, it's really commutable. You've got the freeway right there. You've got the BART station right there. You've got a lot of little shops. Neighbors super friendly. People are out gardening, walking their dogs. So it's a really enjoyable place to live. Of course, you've got the great Bay Area weather. And in general, you're just central. People want to live centrally as much as they can.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. And how many homes have you sold in El Cerrito?
I have sold 0 homes in El Cerrito. The closest would be the Richmond Heights.
Okay, but for throw a hand up if it sounded like she understood her shit in El Cerrito, Albany, and Berkeley, and why the demand in El Cerrito is so high, and what were the contributing factors, right? She was very, very clear on the contributing factors of people getting pushed out of one community, moving to another community, but also realizing that, hey, it's really not that bad, and I can still find a great home, and I'm still close to all the things that I want to be close to. So I felt that messaging. Let's go to Brianna. Brianna, what was something that you heard Sierra say that you stood out to you, that you said, you know what, that's something I can add into my own flow in my own market? Let's go, Brianna. Or Chicken Mom, hashtag. Mute buttons down below. There it is.
It was not behaving for me. Her confidence. I would have sworn she sold all the houses in that area. Like she was the neighborhood realtor. She just was so confident.
Totally, absolutely. And where does that confidence come from? It comes from the door knocking, and it comes from the studying of the data, right? Like
Yeah.
she's just as new as a lot of people, in the company, and she still sounds like such an expert. So really good job, good takeaways, Brianna. Let's continue the conversation. Cynthia, I know that you're making a right turn, so I'll come back to you in a minute. It's good to see your face. But let's go, Samiri. Samiri, I want to hear from you. Give us a quick update. You choose the market, you choose the area, and tell us what I'm up against. Let's go.
Hello. So I'm choosing Brentwood.
Okay, perfect.
And you are a seller, so I'm on my phone, so I can share my screen,
It's all good.
okay,
I'm
okay.
sure if you have the data up in front of you, let's go. Give me an update. I'm thinking about selling my house. I don't know. How's the market? Is it a good time? Should we wait? Should we rent it out? All the conversations that you're going to have with the seller. Give me an update.
It is a great time to sell for you right now. Right now, in the past 90 days, average home has been selling for 857,000, going over listing price. So it's a great time for you to be able to sell your home for the best buck.
Cool. Give me a little bit more. Go a little bit deeper with the data. So when you say 857,000, is there multiple offers on the homes? What's the average days on the market in Brentwood? Tell me more.
For the average days, it is 31 days, the average days on the market. As far as the offers, I am not sure how to get that from the
Okay.
days.
All right. So just make something up right now, just for the sake of conversation.
As for the offers, there's 11 offers coming in for each home. So.
Okay. All right. And so what is the average starting price for these houses? I know that the average sales price is around 857. What are they listed at?
They are listing at 850,000.
So they're only selling for $7,000 over asking price?
That's correct. Yes.
So it doesn't seem like it's that good of a time for me to sell.
I mean, in comparison to other markets, as maybe the Oakland market, I would say that it is a better market to be selling a house in.
Okay. How so? What supports that comment?
As far right now, I have seen that in Oakland, they've been selling about 20,000 under asking price.
Where at in Oakland?
And in around the east of Oakland.
Okay.
East Oakland, it's been selling under price, and it's been staying in the market over 100 days. So.
All right. And I see people lighting up because some people work in the Oakland market. Where are you pulling that data, or are you just winging it for the conversation? Where are you pulling that data, and where'd you hear that?
Yeah, I was winging it for the conversation.
Okay. All right. So I appreciate it. And shout out to you for even raising your hand. I want you to, that's why understanding the data at a very, very granular level, I think, and I haven't sold a house in Brentwood in the last 90 days, but I think it's safe to say if we pull our comps, the houses are selling well over asking price, depending on the areas. And I'm sure there's houses, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet, are selling significantly over asking price. And I'm sure there's multiple offers on those homes. Depending on where you are in Oakland, 100 days on the market, I feel that's going to be really, really challenging to be able to support. And I know that you were kind of making up the story as we went along, but I think that understanding what's happening all throughout the Bay Area and having some concise answers, it's going to really, really serve you well. And I appreciate you stepping in and stepping up. I want to go to Dominique. Dominique is your actual sponsor in the game. And so I would love to hear your insights, thoughts, and particularly somebody that understands the Brentwood market. Can we shed some light and some insight on that market for Samiri?
Yeah, so the Brentwood market is hot right now. The Brentwood market, Antioch market, and Oakley market. And that's because in the central location of the Bay Area, where prices are driven due to its location and it being close to SF in Silicon Valley, those prices are driven so high. And when you're talking about the Oakland market, maybe homes in certain areas of East Oakland, West Oakland, they might sit a little longer. Those might be more like fixers, or those might be homes where you've got a lot more work that needs to be performed to them. Those are sitting longer than other homes that are turnkey ready in the Oakland Hills or more desirable neighborhoods. So some people are being pushed out of the Oakland area into the Brentwood, Antioch area. Those prices are driving higher because people are being pushed out into those areas. However, it's still lower than Oakland, right? You can get more bang for your buck out there as far as square footage, lot size, and bed bath count. And so you're still paying a good amount of dollar in the Brentwood area, but just not as high in Oakland where you're getting less for your money.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I love that. And Samiri, when you hear Dominique talk about it, and obviously she's been at this a little bit longer, what are some things or some words that you hear that really stand out when she starts to talk about the market?
It's like really focusing on like the driver of like what's causing, right?
Totally.
Like the market change.
Totally. And for you, Samiri, if you were to rank it every single week, how much time you were actually spending on understanding the market throughout the entire Bay Area, how much time are you actually spending?
Maybe 30 minutes in the morning.
All right, cool. And then if you're spending 30 minutes in the morning, how much time are you actually practicing with the articulation of the understanding of the data?
Not enough time.
And so and that's always the challenge for us is I don't think that the knowledge is a challenge because we all have access to the same information. It's the articulation piece of it. It's the articulation piece of it. So Samiri, really great job. I'm going to hit you one more time and this is going to be a challenge. So you have a listing appointment in Brentwood and everything is good and well. You've explained the data. I understand the data, but I have to ask you a really very tough question. And I want this to come straight from your heart and don't overthink this. Why would we choose you?
You would choose me because I'm going to be able to advocate for yourself as well as bring in a lot of resources. I am part of EXP Team Fast. So that means that we have over 8,000 agents in our brokerage, which offers us a limited of off-markets catalog list.
All right, so once again, I'm gonna have you take your hand from off your chin really quick, shake it off really quick. One more time. Let's do this one more time. Why am I choosing you?
You're choosing me because, as I mentioned, I will be advocating for you we make sure that we sell your house at the best price point. Not only am I providing you my services, but I'm providing the services that I am part of with Team Fast EXP brokerage. That means leveraging the resources that they provide, which is one of the biggest takeaway is the off-market listings that we can provide for you.
Okay. So here's the thing. Give her love, light, positive energy. This shit is hard. I told you this will probably be one of the hardest things that you do in group coaching. I have a challenge for you, Samiri, is I want you to record yourself via Zoom or from your phone. And I just want you to run through that a few times, right? Why would somebody choose to work with you? And what I didn't hear in there was anything personal about who you are, what you represent, why this is important to you. Advocacy is a key word in what you just said, but there's well more than 8,000 agents in our entire brokerage. There's over 90,000 agents in our brokerage. And at our team in particular, there's 200 agents. And so really making sure that you're crafting the message when you're asked, well, why would I even work with you? So I'm going to help you with that and that crafting of that messaging, but I want you to record yourself, go back and listen to it and start to redefine what that actually sounds like. And listen, the fact that you raised your hand in this environment, I got to give you love, light, and positive energy because the shit is hard and I told you it would be hard. So give her some love and some light. We've all been there before. So Samiri, mad props to you. Cynthia, let's go over to you. Martinez is the market she serves. She has a home there that she owns. She also has an Airbnb. Make sure to book it if you ever need anything or if you have a friend that's coming into town. It is an amazing, cute place. So Cynthia, and then I'll come right over to Janice. Cynthia Peterson, good to see you. I actually took your recommendation. I got a type form 2 weeks ago, and I didn't know who had responded to the type form for questions about group coaching, and it was Cynthia, and she said, let's go back to popcorn style. And I didn't realize what she had meant. I went back and watched some of the old tapes, and popcorn style was, she said that we would sit here and like we would listen to people do market updates and we would have some popcorn and listen to how well that they would perform. So Cynthia, for the last 2 weeks, we've gone right back into that. So I appreciate that, but I wanted to hear from you, contributions from you. So let's go.
I love this popcorn style because this is what makes us really good at articulating shit to our clients is telling each other what the market's like, and so that we can keep you updated with each other. And it is so hard. You guys should be so proud of yourselves for speaking up on here. So the Martinez market, over the last 30 to 90 days, we have seen a cooling off period. And usually what I do when I have a seller's consultation or a buyer's consultation is I'll pull up the last 90 days of sales. I'll also pull up the Altos report. And if you, I don't know, Elias, if you want to do that right now, if you want to pull up Altos for the zip code 94553, which is Martinez in the greater area of Martinez, you can see over the last 30 days that it has cooled off significantly. One of the biggest reasons for this is because the refinery has been in some hot fucking water over the last couple of years. So as soon as buyers go in and type in Martinez, California, the refinery is something that you see almost right away. And so with families that have little, there's a lot of leaking underground storage tanks, plus on the natural hazard disclosure statement. So if a refinery view or is in the Mountain View neighborhood, those homes are having a really hard time selling. They're sitting on the market for over 30 days. On average, our price point's about $800 to $850. But the homes that are listed at the right price, like, and in greater neighborhoods like Virginia Hills, Alhambra Hills, Nancy Boyd Park, those homes are getting sold quickly. And the reason for that is they're not close to the refinery. You don't have those refinery views at all. Let's see. Oh, so for sellers, yeah, it may take us close to 30 days to sell your home. I love to do feel, felt, found, which is a sales technique. Don't forget, even if you don't want to sound salesy, you are a salesperson. You are here to make commissions. You're also here to help your clients, of course. But at the end of the day, we're here for our families, right? So feel, felt, found is a sales technique, and it goes something like this. You know, let's say that a seller says to me, well, I know I can get $950 for my home if I sold it myself. Interesting. I've had, and this is where the feel, felt, found comes in. I've had, sorry. It's interesting that you feel that way. I've had clients that have also felt that way, and what they have found is that by trying to sell it themselves, they sit on the market. The for sale by owner sign sits on the front yard, and they miss a whole selling season. So if you list it in the spring, come summer, you're still sitting on the market. Come fall, you're still sitting on the market. If you're still on the market in the fall, you have done yourself a huge disservice because most folks are trying to get in here before they have to get the kids into the school year. And we do have great schools. Our high school is rated like a 7. Okay, now I feel like I'm rambling. Elias, any questions that you had?
No, and I love this and really great stuff. What you'll understand and what you'll hear is that she understands that market, but it's not all sunshines and rainbow. When we're talking about the market, you have to tell a consumer that, hey, listen, it is a good time to buy or sell or buy, but however, it might take us a little bit longer. Now, you're probably seeing, you know, other markets that are getting $200,000, $300,000 over. That's not really happening in this market because it's different here. And I understand how you feel. That shares with them that you're empathetic. Others have felt the same way. It shows some type of social proof. And here's what I have found. And so it's like, here's the alternative. Here's what the other outcome could be based on your findings. And so that technique is quintessential 101 sales techniques. But if you can get that type of conversation going and that type of language and those type of behaviors, I promise you, you'll get further down the sales funnel. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to move people down to the bottom of the funnel. But I think you articulated the market really well. Let's go, Christy. Christy, what was something that you heard from Cynthia that really stood out to you? And you say, you know what, I'm going to add that to my flow, or something that stood out to you. Christy, let's go. You with me, Christy? Just give me a thumbs up if you're with me. There she is.
Hi, I'm here. I
Hi.
really liked how it was very smooth flowing, and I felt if I was the buyer, she convinced me. I thought that, you know, sometimes for sale by owner, you think that's a better idea, but It just, if it's going to be sitting that long, I don't want to miss that window of opportunity to sell. So I think the way she articulated it was really great. And yeah, I have no negative feedback. It was just, she sounded very confident. She knew her information and she just delivered it really well. So great job.
You guys, at the end of it, isn't that our job? Isn't that our job to share with the consumer information about the market, right? That's our job, right? So if you're not spending time every single day, it's like, okay, I understand this, but how would I actually say this to a consumer? You're missing a huge part of your job. This is your job, understanding the market and articulating the reality of what's actually happening in the market. You guys, that is a skill, that is a mastery. And once you have that, anybody could come up to you, be like, tell me about the River Islands, market. I'm so glad that you asked. I know that you are looking at retirement. Did you know that Del Webb is opening in River Islands? No, I knew nothing about that. Let's go take a trip out to River Islands. I'm going to show you what they're building, why they're building. It's right next to Capri. It's right on the lake. And you guys are on the brink of something that is happening in this area that is such a huge economic impact that, look around. There's 5,000 homes that are built here. And in the next 10 years, they're going to build 15,000 more. What do you think that's going to do to the value of your home over the next 15 years? When you're thinking about building and passing on a legacy to your family, can you see why this would be a good investment for your family? Sure. Awesome. Let's set up that tour. So Cynthia, you took yourself back off of mute. Let's go to you. Then we'll go to Otis and we'll go to Janice.
Okay, two quick things. Natalie, the first gal that spoke today, I really, really appreciate the vulnerability of saying, I don't know. What I think is super helpful is to, at your buyer consultation at the end, when you're kind of starting to come to a conclusion, is show them the spreadsheet that you're going to get cleaned up and looking beautiful. Show them the spreadsheet instead of just telling them, look, you're going to have to compromise. Show them, here's the data that we're finding. Yes, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to find a home in your price range. However, if we look at the surrounding areas, if I just look over one city, let's go to Pinole, let's go to Rodeo. It's a 10-minute drive. I want to just show you what the possibilities are, just to give them that light bulb moment of like, oh shit, I hadn't thought about that before. So share the spreadsheet in your buyer consultation of this is the reality of the market, like Elias was doing in the beginning. Also, our very own Dominique Curtis is doing an amazing synergy session. I'm so bummed I'm going to miss it, but Thursday at the Brentwood office, she's going to be dropping so much knowledge about comps. If I was a new agent, I would cancel some shit to make sure I could get there on Thursday. Anyone should be going to that, but I'm already booked for an ABR class. But if you guys can make it out there Thursday, I believe it's on the team calendar, right, Elias?
It's not, but I'm so glad that you brought this up, because here I want to alleviate Dominique. And Dominique, this is the persona that you've built, which is a really good thing. I want to alleviate the type of questions that Dominique gets out on a week. I think on an average, she probably gets about 10 to 15 calls. It's because of the persona and it's because of her expertise. So we're going to make it really easy on her. And here's why. We actually asked her to host our internal fast class on on Thursday, which is at 9 to 10 o'clock. Now, that session is going to be recorded, and that session will live in fast class. So you can go in the future and watch that recording over and over and over again. Press pause, do your comps, press play, do your comps, and make sure that you're applying everything that she is teaching. And then right after that, she didn't know she was going to have to do a whole morning of training. She's doing a 10 o'clock session in-person synergy at Brentwood. So if you missed the in-person, if you missed the one on Zoom, we're going to have that recording. And so hopefully you don't have to call her all the time. You just reflect and go to the recording. Not saying that she doesn't like the calls, but the girl's busy and she's got a family. So we want to make it easier on you and easier on her. So we are going to hit record and we're going to put that in fast class and make sure that you guys tune into that. So Dominique, we really appreciate you doing that. But let's continue on the conversation. Otis, you had your hand up. Once Janice is back in frame, I'm going to go over to her and then we'll start to wrap session. Cynthia, appreciate your contribution. Thank you for being here. And thank you for your type form last week or 2 weeks ago. Let's go, O.
Richmond.
Let's go.
All right, Elias, thank you for taking some time out to talk to me
The
today.
city. And said, let's go, Otis.
I mean, shit, I'm pumped up. I heard y'all. I was like, shit, let me try to spit some fire today. Shit, let's go. Okay, thank you, Elias, for giving me some time today and going over these comps here in Richmond. As you see, I sent you over the comps on your computer. Are you following with me?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So I particularly looked into more cities just to let you know and just to show you it's kind of like similar all throughout, all up 80 from basically Emeryville all the way up to Pinot. We're going to see some houses that are turnkey going as fast as 7 days up to 15. And then on the slight fixers, we're seeing them go about 30 on the longer side and 15 on the shorter side. One thing to keep in mind, though, if we're not coming cash and we're coming conventional or FHA, there's a lot of cash out there in these areas. I have been beaten out specifically with my last buyer over 13 times. Now, while I'm telling you that's just to show you how much that there's a possibility that it might not be our time the very first home, the second home, or in this case with these buyers, it was the 12th. And after that, we got lucky number 13. These people came to me through an online source that I use heavily within my business, which is Zillow. And they also came through with an additional 47% referral from Chevron, which is the company they're using. Now, this specific client, Elias, was getting so many incentives that it was hard for me to kind of nuzzle them out to get different opinions, like to go to my go-to lender or someone who I could promise that I can maybe get us some credits or work through some, murky situations that will happen in this specific market because it is hot. Like I told you, it's heavy. And I'm going to hit you with a little bit of a sticker price, but working with me, I can go through a lot of different scenarios no matter who we working with, whether it's my preferred lender or any other lender, and we can kind of build game plans A, B, and C. Now, on our houses that are really hot, that you're saying, Otis, I need this house, we're gonna have to maybe go all out. Now, going all out means that we're gonna have to remove all our contingencies because people are coming with a lot of money and they do not care what's wrong with the house. So me, someone who's really keen on saving buyers money, it's kind of like a low-key promise that I make, but nothing in life is guaranteed, right? But on average, in the last 24 just closed, 25 closes on Saturday. In the last year and a half, I've been able to help 25 families, and the bulk of them here in this area. So I can really tell you that I'm an area expert in this area, and I've been doing a lot in seller credits, which is on the average 10 to 15,000. I'm not saying that we'll be able to get them for you, but that might be a scenario if we pick the right house. Now, if we're looking to something that you don't mind that's going to be worked on just a little bit, those are some houses that are 30 days plus that maybe we be able to scale back something. Maybe we can put some contingencies in there to make us feel a little bit more comfortable and not just rushing you into things. But you seem like a guy that's pretty keen and knows a thing or two. So if there's some reports or something that, may not have too much where you're ready to go full non-contingent on some of these houses, like we talk about those turnkey homes where they look just beautiful and you can see you and your family going into it right away. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be the A, and we're going to go really heavy on. These homes, all the newer homes, the turnkey homes, those are going on an average between like $50 and well over $100,000. Now, some of these listing agents are really smart, and they'll put them a lot under with what they're actually going for. Like in some of these areas, they're always going to be listed at $699, $799, $899, and those are going to probably end up in the 930s, 950s. One of them end up over almost $300,000. Can you believe that? $1.1 million. So it's a little crazy. We just got to make sure that we stick to our price point and we just basically have a really great game plan. I can tell you at the end of the day, if we do all that we're going to probably see you in one of the top homes that you like. And if it's not something, maybe I'll be able to scale back and get you some credit still where we can still put that on the seller side and you're not coming out of too much of a pocket. And I got a plethora list of contractors who will definitely bid up and get you the lowest price for your home. So I just wanted to go over some of these things to show you why you should choose me. I'd also love to earn your business because I can tell you all day black and blue about how much money I can save you, but I just want to earn your business because at the end of the day, I know it's easier for you just to go choose anybody. So thank you for your time, Elias. Is there any questions you have for me before we get off the call?
So if that was the conversation and he was actually talking to a live consumer, who's in control of that conversation? Is Otis or am I in? Second?
Otis.
Otis is definitely in control of the conversation, but he wasn't being pushy. He was being very assertive and he was being a leader, right? He was being a leader. And I felt like a consumer would feel, excuse me, that this is a type of person that is going to take charge and say, let's go, I got you, and we're going, right? I'm the fireman, and I'm going to control the fire, which is the market. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But really, really good stuff. Brianna, you said some stuff in the comments down below. Good stuff. You approve? You like it? All right, good. Let's go to Janice. Janice, last contribution of the call. Otis Fire, as always. Janice, where are we talking about? What market? Let's go.
Albany. I don't want to follow after Otis now.
Hey, listen. Hey, when Michael Jackson first performed Billie Jean in front of a crowd of people, that was a breathtaking performance. Someone had to go after Michael Jackson. So let's go.
Okay, we're talking about Albany, and I want you to be a seller. That just seems like an easier talking point. But you're gone. Okay. Mr. and Mr. Seller, I know you've been hesitating about selling your house in Albany, but we need to get it on the market as soon as possible if that is something that you are interested in. If I could get you more than you think you could get on your house, I think there's no reason we shouldn't sell. Everything is going for $100,000 to $300,000, $100,000 over asking. Everybody wants to get into this neighborhood for the school. Currently, there's only 9 things available on the market. There's only 9 homes that are available to the hundreds of people that want to get here for the amazing schools. So if there is any way that you would want to list, now's the time. Boom, you missed the whole thing. That was great. I win.
I heard some of it, but I just saw get it, mama. So I got to hear, Dominique, what was it that you heard from Janice that was like, ooh, spot on?
She came with numbers and she flowed. She was talking. She didn't say she was going. It was as if she just knows it. She studied it.
I love that she said that she didn't say ums. Remove the verbal vomit from your vocabulary. So, like, anyways, remove that. You're a professional. You're a tacticianer. Your words should flow naturally. There shouldn't be all these awkward words such as and pauses and things like that. It should flow naturally. So really good stuff to everybody on the call today. And I shared something in our Play Bigger group yesterday, and I wanted to share it with you guys today because it reminds me of you, and it reminds me of our environment, of what we're going into. Because I believe that we're walking into an era that's going to feel a little bit different, and we are going to walk into the fire. And I always look at the fire as being the market. And I saw a boxing coach the other day talking to his fighter in the corner between rounds and telling him to stay in the pocket. And I want to share this with you guys. I shared it yesterday, so if anybody was on my Play Bigger call, forgive me because this is going to be redundant. But the coach told his fighter this: the fire is coming. Are you ready for the fire? We are firemen. We are firemen. The heat doesn't bother us. We live in the heat. We train in the heat. It tells us that we are ready and we are at home. We are where we are supposed to be. The flames don't intimidate us. What we do is what we do. We control the flame. We are the firemen, meaning that you guys are in the thick of things right now. But when it comes to the market conditions, when it comes to the changes in the market, you guys are the firemen and women. You guys are the ones that are controlling the flame. And the only way that you're going to be able to control the flame is by getting better at your message to market, understanding the nuances and patterns and how to flow and how to deliver fire presentations. That's controlling the flame. The people that don't control the flame are not the firefighters. You guys are trained, you guys are equipped, and you guys know how to handle and subside the flames that are coming. So be the firemen and be the firewomen of this industry, and that's how we're going to win. And that speech, when he was dead looking his fighter in the face with high levels of intensity, we were built for this shit. That's why if you're coming to coaching, you guys, coaching is not something that is on in the background and you're not throwing your hand up. Because if you're not throwing your hand up here, then how are you truly pushing yourself to be uncomfortable? Because I'm going to fucking push you to be super uncomfortable in this business. Why? Because I love you and I care enough about you to push you, to shake you, to say, wake up, stand up, raise your hand, get uncomfortable, say the things that you don't even know what to say, but you're going to practice here. And I promise you, if you give me that space, you allow me that space, I will work my ass off to make you a better agent. Promise you that. I promise you that. If you come closer and you allow me to be in that space with you, I will be that coach in your face, getting you ready for the fire that we are about to take on. And that's all I have to say about that. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. I'm heading to Ventura today to go speak at an event down there about unlocking our true value as real estate professionals. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for filling my cup. Go out there and be the firemen and firewomen. They need you. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day.